My name is Gina, and this is my channel where I like to talk about knitting and yarn and life stuff and all of that. Well, I also want to talk about where I went this past weekend, which was the New York Sheep and Wool Festival in Rhinebeck, New York. Marcella and I flew up this past Thursday, and we did Manhattan, New York things until Saturday, and that's when we went to the event. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. I'm going to go over who I saw, kind of what I saw in terms of what people were wearing. There was definitely some sweaters that everybody was wearing, and so, but I think I'm going to do this in a sort of a timely way, starting with Saturday morning. So the morning of the event, Christy Glass, who has done the videos in the past called Tell Me About Your Rhinebeck Sweater, she had decided to go this year, and she was in the city doing some auditions for some of her acting jobs, and she had a car, and so she was driving to Rhinebeck, and so she invited Marcella and I to hitch a ride with her. So it was funny, if I have to get up early, I never, ever, ever sleep the night before. So I took an Ambien, and weirdly, it did not wake me up. I mean, it did not keep me asleep. I mean, I woke up like every 2 hours. It's supposed to keep you asleep for probably at least 4 hours, but it did not. And I essentially just woke up like 5 minutes before I was supposed to be out the door. We needed to meet her at 6:30 a.m. in front of her apartment in the Upper West Side. And I woke up at 5 till 6. So I jumped up and woke Marcella up, and we just threw our clothes on, and we ran out the door, caught a cab, and booked it up north. And then we were on our way. And driving to Rhinebeck in the Hudson Valley is so beautiful. The trees have turned. It's much more progressive towards the turning of the leaves up north than where I am in Virginia. And it was just, you know, everything was orange and burgundy. It was just absolutely gorgeous. And when we arrived there, it was cold. It was maybe 55. I mean, it was perfect sweater weather. It was very cold. And we got there, we got in line, and Christy, you know, started her thing. She started asking people what they were wearing, and they were telling her about their sweater, because you kind of make a sweater for Rhinebeck. That's kind of what you do. That's what typically people do. I was wearing a self-drafted Clinton Hill cashmere sweater that I just grabbed on my way up to New York. I grabbed another one for Marcella, White Horse by Caitlin Hunter, for her to wear. And well, we had our sweaters on. Christy has a whole video of what she was wearing, the sweater, and she goes into detail with it. So I'm going to link that in the show notes below, so you can go and she'll describe what she was wearing and what yarn she was wearing it, you know, that she knitted out of and everything. But you could see her from a mile away. I mean, that's kind of her standard thing. I mean, she was all green, and she had a pink hat, and I mean, you literally could see her from, like, from the moon, basically. So we waited in line, and then we got in, and I could tell you right away that the sweater that everybody was wearing was framed by Andrea Mowry. I have never seen so many framed sweaters. It makes me want to make one, but it really is like a quilt. Like it's the quilt look to it, and I'm just not a quilt person. I like quilts on my bed. Different guest rooms have quilts on them, but I don't want to wear a quilt, like the quilted jackets. I don't want to wear those. I don't want to carry a quilted handbag, anything like that. So, but there were some that had negative ease. Like some people had knitted it so it was closer to their bodies as opposed to like a big square. And I really liked that a lot. Like I thought that I could see myself making a small one with negative ease. It just made it a little bit more current looking or less. It doesn't matter what I think about that sweater. Everyone obviously loved it. There were thousands of people there. I would say maybe the second sweater that might have had a lot as well was the halibut sweater by Caitlin Hunter, which I own. I have that sweater. Where is it? It's up in my closet. And I almost thought of Marcella wearing that. And I could have worn that. But I have just worn that sweater so much in my daily life. But that actually probably would have been a good choice to wear that halibut sweater. Caitlin Hunter wasn't there. But Andrea Mowry was there. And they had a meetup on the hill at 2 o'clock where everybody that had made the frame sweater got together. And that was probably one of the biggest groups of people I have ever seen on the hill were the people that were wearing the framed sweater. So that was a home run for her. And I saw framed cows as well. That was cute. So that was a successful pattern for her, obviously. Let's see. Marcella was instantly bored. So she went and she laid off in a field kind of where the dog trials are. She didn't want to walk around with me. She didn't want... Christy and I, we like split up. Right away, we split up. We got in the gates and then she went one way, I went the other. And then at some point, Marcella like split off from me too. She didn't want to be with me. So she went one way into the field. I went shopping. And I went from barn to barn and saw all sorts of cool things. All sorts of... beautiful yarn. Nothing I had to really have. I did buy one skein of yarn the whole time I was there, and it was mainly because I just wanted to. I like self-striping sock yarn. I enjoy it a lot, so I did buy. This white birch, and it's a self-striping yarn. It is basically white, and then there's a rainbow, an inch of rainbow, and then white, and then an inch of rainbow. You can't, of course, tell by looking at the skein, but, and let's see. Did I not? Yes, I did bring my glasses in here. Good. 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 400 yards, 100%, 100 grams of fingering weight, machine wash, cold, lay flat to dry, white birch fiber arts.com. This is called Polar Rainbow. It's $37, which frankly is a steal. Because self-striping yarn is a bitch to do. So she has a really cute logo, doesn't she? It's really cute. Yeah. And I met the dyer and everything. She was really nice. The only thing is, you know, it's kind of a thin yarn, but that's pretty much what you get when you're getting sock yarn. So this was my only purchase. Can you believe that? Isn't that crazy? Well, no, I take that back. I bought my ears. The ears that I'm wearing, which I asked people so often, like the last 8 or so years I've been going to Rhinebeck, I have asked people, where did you get your ears? No one could ever tell me where the ears are. And finally, I found the booth. Of course, I should have written down the name, but I found the booth and I bought myself the ones that match my hair. But then I also bought these for Marcella. And I bought it because it had a crown, and she is the princess / queen of the house. She wasn't really thrilled about this compared to, like, she wanted the kind that matched her hair too. But then she said that she probably would rather have a contrast because she was afraid that too many people would think she was a furry. I don't know what that means. Like, there's, you know, people have different pronouns, and some people think that they're furries or something, or need a litter box in the bathroom or something. No comment. Okay. Anyway, so I bought these, loved them. I will wear this every time I go back to Rhinebeck. I will never go without that again. And I believe whoever made these needs to have a booth at each entrance. There's 2 entrances to Rhinebeck. They need to have a booth at each entrance, and they need to have these, and they need to match everybody's hair. So they need to match, they need to be red ones, all different shades of brown, they need to be blonde, so that when you put them on, they match your hair and they're an extension of your head. And it just occurred to me, I could probably make these myself. It uses a little shearling and stuff. The crown is a nice touch, and it looks like they darkened the center of this one. Mine are not. They don't have like pink in the center or anything. They're not quite as thick and robust as this one. But I loved having this on. I didn't buy this, but Autumn, who owns this company, she saw me on the hill and she gave me this little packet, and it has this cord smith in it, which makes I-cord. And this is a cute one because it has like all of the, you know, cute stuff, like leaves and things. It came with 2 of them in there. I think they're the same. Wait a minute, they're not the same. No, they're not the same, and I couldn't tell you. So one is wider and one is thinner. I could not tell you why that is. Why is one wider than the other? If you know the answer to that question, could you please comment down below and tell me why one is wider than the other? Does that make a wider I-cord? I just wouldn't think that it would, but it might. It's interesting. It's like a latch hook. And here is her card. And she also it also came with these stickers. So thank you, Autumn. It was very sweet of you to give me one of these in this packet. I mean, 2 of these in this one packet. So that's basically all that I bought. Now, let's talk a little bit about the people that I saw. Always when you get there in the afternoon, there is always sort of groups of people on the hill. And there was, like I said, Andrea and Mowry had a whole group of people in their framed sweaters taking pictures. I saw Karen at Do You Knit and her sidekick Alana. Alana was there with her husband. He was there for the food, but he had a really nice camera. So he was taking really nice pictures of her and everything. Samantha, Sam, who used to own a yarn company called Old Soul Yarn Company. She lives down in the Asheville area. I saw her. I know I'm going to forget people, but I have pictures, and so, you know, I'm going to see everybody. I'll be able to put up pictures of people. Julie Aslin. I saw, oh gosh, I saw a lot of people. I saw a lot of my viewers that came up to me and said hi and hoped I was feeling better, and that made me feel great. It's interesting. There was a really subtle difference on the hill this time, that a lot of people didn't come up to me and say, are you skein cocaine, or hi skein cocaine. They all called me Gina. So that's a difference. And I guess you guys are paying attention to my podcast. And so most of the people that came up to me said, hi, Gina. And you know, wished me well, said I was looking better. And that was really nice. Let's see. I know, I mean, I am forgetting a lot. Anyway, while I was on the hill, Marcella ran over to me to tell me that she had been sleeping in where the dog trials were. And I think while she was standing there talking to me, somebody asked her a question about something, and she had to check her phone to answer the question, and realized that she did not have her phone. That she had actually laid down and fell asleep, and her phone was laying on the ground with her. She stood up and ran away, and she left her phone somewhere in the field somewhere. So she and I ran back, and of course there was a new dog trial thing, and so where she had been sleeping was now a crowd of people standing there, and her phone was nowhere to be seen. So we went to all the offices, everywhere. We went to Lost and Found here and there, and left our number, and I kept calling it, and I of course assumed we would never see it again, because I'm a catastrophic thinker, and I also have had my purse lost, my purse stolen. I've lost my phone several times, my wallet several times, that I never got back. So when she lost her phone, or I can't find my wallet, or I just automatically assume it's gone forever, will never be found again. But we kept calling it, and finally somebody answered. So we were looking for it for about an hour and a half, and then we found it. So that was a relief. And then, let's see, food-wise, the food I thought was terrible this year. Now, I had the Brussels sprouts, so you would wait in line. I waited about 45 minutes in line, and there were 2 lines for the Brussels sprouts. So you would walk up, and you would order and pay, and then you would turn around and go all the way back to the end of the line of the second line, and you would wait in line to get your Brussels sprouts. So I waited 45 minutes to pay, and then I had to turn around and go all the way back, and I waited another 30 or so to get up to the top of the line to get the Brussels sprouts. And the Brussels sprouts I'm very sensitive to oil now, like really oily foods, because I don't have a gallbladder anymore. It just makes me feel bleh. And it was extremely oily, so I ate a couple bites and then I threw those away. Then I had some Greek food. I waited about 35 minutes in a line to get like a Greek wrap or whatever. And I got Marcella some French fries. And the chicken in the Greek wrap was so overcooked, I couldn't even tear it. Like, it was just, so I just threw it in the trash. I had some donuts. I had, you know, the cider donuts. They were great. But are they really, really, really amazing? I'm not sure. I just don't know if there's anything special about the food. I think next year what I'm going to do is, I mean, I ended up basically eating French fries all day and drinking really sweet lemonade or water, but I just didn't really have I need to bring my own food next time. I need to have like a packet of, or make myself a salad or something. I would have loved to have sat on the hill and eaten a really delicious salad. And if anybody knows a food that really is really, really good, I don't like falafel, so that's one thing. But if there is something that I'm missing that's really tremendously good at the festival, could you please tell me down below like what I should have been eating? Because I just, you know, the amount of wait times and then what you actually end up getting, it just isn't worth it, you know? I don't know. Okay, so let's see. Anything else? I saw the Grocery Girls. I saw Gigi. I saw Michigan Makers. Your name is escaping me. Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. Because Jamie's screaming at the screen. My name is Jamie. Yes. I saw her. And this is what happens. My brain just goes dead. Just absolutely dead. But I'm going to post the pictures. So, yeah, I didn't go to any of the earlier events that I normally go to, like on Friday, like Cake-a-Palooza, or I didn't do any of that. In fact, you know, I wasn't even sure I was going to Rhinebeck. I had mixed feelings about it. But when Christy invited me to go, I was like, okay, I don't have to figure out the cab to the train station, you know, on the train, then get a bus, and then the bus takes me to Rhinebeck, and then we have to hurry and get back on the bus to get back on the train to get back in the city. You know, when she offered for me to be a passenger princess, I thought, okay, that's going to be easy. That's just a straight shot. It's just to Rhinebeck and back. But I really had mixed feelings about it because I just, you know, now that I don't have my Instagram account anymore, I couldn't post things to Instagram. I couldn't post in my stories. I couldn't, you know, none of that. And I was feeling a bit detached from it. But I am really glad that I went, and because there were people that I hadn't seen in a long time, and it felt great. Button Jar Studio, she makes beautiful bags. I saw her on the hill. Please, if I don't mention that I saw you, I'm really sorry. I just, whenever I podcast, my brain goes, it's just dead. So I always remember after I filmed who I saw. So then it was closing time. We stayed the entire time from start to finish of the day. We stayed the whole time. We got back in the car and we drove back to the city, and it was really a really pleasant experience. I got to know Christy a lot better, and that woman has the most flawless skin I've ever seen. I just basically just sat in the passenger seat and stared at her skin and thought to myself, is she doing something special to make her skin look like that? I mean, does she spend a lot of money and time on her skin? Or is this just somebody who's young? Because I don't know how old she is. I don't even know if she's 40 yet. I don't know. She might be 40. I don't know. But, I mean, you know, the condition of my skin compared to the condition of her skin, I couldn't tell whether this was just maintenance or youth. I just couldn't tell. I mean, I know she's young, but I just couldn't get over how beautiful her skin was. And, you know, a lot of fun. we had a lot of fun. We talked a lot about the Menendez brothers, which I want to get into that in a second. But so I guess that's it about Rhinebeck. I'm going to have a lot of pictures at the end too, and some video and everything. But let me show you a few things I've been working on that, like when I flew up to New York and flew back and everything. I mean, before I left, I had finished these season socks. And I wish I had my, oh shoot, I need to get, yeah, I need to get my sock thing. Hold on. Okay, I found one. I have two of these, but I can only find one. So these are called the Season Socks by Summerlee. Oh, shoot, I have to close the door. Okay. Hold on. These are called Season Socks by Summerlee, and I actually used my Royal Decay because I am such a loose knitter that I actually did these on size US 1s. That is how loose a knitter I am. And they're just like normal socks. They're not even like DK socks. So this is a very cute pattern on it. I did 64 stitches. I did a 2x2 rib for like 1.5 inches. And then it's this very cute pattern. Just use speckled yarn. I just did it as long as I wanted to. I didn't think about it very much. Fish lips, kiss, heel. And then Kitchenering the toe. Just did a simple whatever kind of toe. Anyway, but look. I have two of them. This pattern makes the foot look really weird. But see? I have two. I did two. Because I liked this pattern so much, I did another one out of, I had just this random hot sock, my own hot sock, that I dyed in sort of a brownish color. Kind of wanted to wear it with my nude Birkenstock Bostons. So I did it in this color as well. And again, I did 64 stitches on a US 1, and they're kind of loose because it's US 1. I should be doing it on zeros, but this is also the Season Sock by Summerlee, and I did the same thing, a 2x2 at the top for about 1.5 inches, and then the body, fish lips, kiss, and rounded toe and Kitchener. Unfortunately, I do not have the second one. There's the ball of it, so I'll be doing that next. Okay, and then something that I didn't show you last time, it was the rototop. And I'm doing this rototop has really given me some troubles. Here it is. It's a cotton tank top, and it's got this really cool, very cool and very easy to do actually, but I made a mistake. This was during the whole hospital issue, so I made tons of mistakes because my head was just really severely messed up. Like, if you can tell, there's the same number of rows for the ribbing in between this really nice design. You see, like, you do a certain amount of that pattern, and then you do, like, some rows of ribbing in between. And on the back, I made a mistake, and I made it longer. You see that? That's, like, twice as long as the one above it. So I screwed up. And that made me really want to stop doing this. But I really want it. That's the problem. I want it, but this was such a fussy pattern. you know, do this while you're doing this, while you're doing this, and then we're going to do that, and at the same time as we're... But I'm doing it out of this. And this is, I believe, well, I'll tell you. It's called Jody Long Cottontails, luxuriously soft cotton, made in Italy. The color number, there it is. That's what it is. There we go. Pretty expensive cotton. $15 for 164 yards. It's really soft cotton, and it's like a DK weight cotton. It recommends using a size 8 or a 5mm needle. But I have to tell you, as I was knitting this, it was shedding, and there was like gunk, gray, fuzzy gunk on my hands. And I will not be using that yarn again. So I don't like it. Sorry, but I don't like it. I don't really like knitting with cotton anyway. This cotton is pretty nice to knit with, but if it sheds, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in knitting it. I probably could have found a pretty fairly inexpensive cotton at Michael's or Joann's or something like that that wouldn't have shed, but it might have split. It's hard to say. I mean, I don't know. I just don't really love knitting with cotton, so. But, you know, it was a tank top, so I thought it probably should be, but no. So whether I finish this rota or not, that remains to be seen. I also cast on another sock. I had this yarn sitting here. It was an update from Woolens and Nosh. And I got it in, and I looked at it, and I thought, I don't know. It doesn't really seem like it has that many colors. Doesn't really seem that interesting. Yeah, well, here's why she's successful. Because this is what it's done so far. So, by looking at that, I could not tell you that this is all the colors that were in it, even though plainly they are. But looking at it, it just seemed like there wasn't that many colors. Now I'm almost done one full color repeat. I think there's one more brown, and then it turns into this color at the top. I cast on 64 stitches. I did a 1x1 rib this time on a US 1 magic loop, and then I started ribbing, and I did a 2x2, 2 knits, 2 purls, and I don't know how long I'm going to make the leg. I think all winter I'm going to wear, I got a new pair of Birkenstock Bostons, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wear hand knit socks with my jeans, my Bostons, and a big sweater. Or I'm going to wear my bloodstones, and then I wouldn't wear pretty socks like this, but I like a thicker, like a bunchier, slouchier sock so that more of the sock will come out of the top of the bloodstones. And then Marcella has gotten in the habit of stealing and wearing all my hand knit socks, and she wears boots. She has lots of Doc Martens, and she wants hand knit socks with them. So I need to make these long. That's where I was going with this. I need to make maybe 2 repeats. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know yet how many I'm gonna do, but that's it. And then in terms of what I'm reading, I am reading this. I got this in New York. I had been hearing about this Sally Rooney woman for a while, that all the young people are obsessed with her, and I am, you know, nearing 60. I'm hardly a young person, though I want to be relevant and I want to know what young people are doing and what they like and all of that. And so I heard she's like a really popular author. So it's about a writer and her lesbian friend, and she does good character development, and I really got sucked in right away. So it was good. I mean, I can't tell you why it's good. It's so funny because some, you know, writers are all writing words, right? And writing stories. Why do some books hook you in and some books don't? And there was nothing particularly special about the first chapter of this book, but for some reason I got hooked in it. So she does have a way, a crafty way of assembling the words. I'm only 28 pages in, but I'm liking it so far. And then I'm also reading this, and I'm only about 50 pages into that. And this is about a man that goes off to college. He's very poor. His parents live on a farm, and he's an only child. And he goes off to college for the first time, you know, in his family's lineage or whatever. And he falls in love with literature while he's there. He's there for architecture. But he takes a book course, a literature course, and he falls in love with literature, and his whole life changes. Doesn't sound very exciting, but actually I got hooked right into this book as well. Kind of reminded me a little bit of I don't know, I don't want to say The Good Earth, but there was something about the descriptions of the way he lived poor, you know, being poor and everything. I don't know. I liked it. So I'm reading these two books so far, enjoying both of these. Let's see. I guess that's it on books. Watching, you know, paying attention to, I was really obsessed with Diddy at one point. Like, what's happening? Well, then I got really sucked into the Menendez brothers. You know, I paid attention to them. I was, in '89 when they killed their parents, I was out of college. I graduated from high school in '85. So I was out of college, and I just remembered that a lot of people made fun of them, and a lot of people really despised them because they spent a lot of money after their parents were murdered. And, you know, Saturday Night Live was making fun of them, and there was a lot of ridicule, a lot of homophobia back then. And I've seen this whole thing with completely fresh eyes, and it makes me just want to cry, you know, about what happened to them. And it's very dark. But their father was business partners with Clive Davis. And, you know, Clive Davis is sort of the mastermind behind Diddy and Tupac and all of them. So basically, you've got these very powerful men that pluck obscure people out of LA or wherever, and they give them a new persona. And they, you know, like Clive plucked these gay dancers, you know, Tupac and Diddy and Jay-Z, whatever, plucked them and gave them personas and guns and drugs and bad boy productions, and they ran with it. And it was sort of the same in Paramount back when they would pluck these starlets, you know, Rock Hudson and all these other really beautiful people, and they would tell them like what they were to do. They would live on the set, but they were also told to, you know, who to marry, who to be seen with dating out in public, you know, where to go, what to do. Of course, we know now that Jerry Lewis was getting drunk and raping them at night and everything. Like, oh my goodness. But, you know, there's all this like taking normal people and training them, teaching them how to act, giving them new personas, lots of times raping them, molesting them, abusing them, controlling them. If those people want to be famous, then they have to do those things. And Jose Menendez and Clive Davis were business partners. So, I mean, already you're dealing with really, really sociopathic, just sick. Anyways, I've been trying not to think about the Menendez brothers. I've been trying not to, because there's really nothing new. I followed everything, you know, even when the family did like a news thing, just like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 days ago or whatever. I watched that, but there's no new news. I'm hoping that they get out. I know that's kind of controversial though, because I know that there's some people that don't want them out, that think they're a danger to society, but honestly, they have spent their entire lives, the last 30 plus years in prison, helping others. Because a lot of the people in prison, a large amount of those people have been sexually abused in the past as children. A lot of them have had head injuries, because we know that having a head injury, either like falling out of a tree, or someone punches you in the head, or you played football or whatever, that head injuries can also cause deviant behavior. So, but there's a lot of sexually abused people in prison that they were as children. And so the Menendez brothers have worked pretty tirelessly to try to make prison more like a college campus, try to add some rehabilitation to their experience in prison. And why that's great is you take these people that are already broken and you put them in an environment that just destroys them even more. You know, that's not good. Do you not agree that we should be trying to rehabilitate? I mean, there's some people that are never going to be rehabilitated. I don't know how I don't know how pedophiles become rehabilitated. Like, I don't know, if you are attracted to something, how do you break that attraction? I don't know. Like, is it even possible? But anyway, so that's what I've been thinking about and trying not to think too much about. But anyway, I've got a lot of pictures to show you. I have lots of stuff I want to show you at Rhinebeck, so I'm going to go ahead and let that happen now. And if you were in Rhinebeck and you have something you want to share about your experience at Rhinebeck, you know, comment below in the comment section and tell me if you went, and did you buy a lot? Did you wear, what Rhinebeck sweater did you wear? I think I am going to make the framed. Probably not. I probably am going to. Yeah, I kind of want to. I get sort of I get inspired. Like, even if I didn't like it that much, it just makes me wanna, because so many people liked it. Maybe it means it's fun to, you know, fun to knit. Sometimes things are really fun to knit. I'll tell you, the most fun thing I've ever knit in my life is the shift. Is that what it's called? I wore it to Woolen Folk last year. It was not the sweater, but the wrap. The night shift. That was the most fun thing I've ever knit in my life. So maybe I should do the sweater. The shifty. Is that right? Yeah. But I'll start with the framed. Okay, nothing new coming down the pike for yarn yet. Nothing new. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. So that's it. You're up to date. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you again soon. And I love you. Bye.